So, Kotzi, finally, how you been, mate? Welcome to the Zoom chat. How you going?
Yeah, good mate. I've had never had so many Zoom meetings before in my life, which is exciting. But when I get to have a chat to you, mate, it's always good and good to be able to speak to our fans as well.
Good to hear. I've got a couple of questions for you, which they're just general ones, just to inform the fans and all that. So, I was just firstly off the bat, I was going to say, as a head coach, you're always thinking, your mind's constantly ticking about everything at the moment. How are you going, and how have you coped since the initial shutdown? Eight or seven or 8 weeks ago.
It's been quite difficult and frustrating from lots of different ways. One, obviously, yeah, you've done a whole pre-season, and I feel really sorry for the players. They've been a lot of hard work, and sort of having to stop on the eve of the season starting. That's been really frustrating for them. But from a coaching point of view, you put a lot of work into your pre-season planning and getting everything right. And I thought we were in pretty good shape moving into the season. So yeah, it was hard to deal with. I watched a lot of footage of games and things like that, spoken to different coaches, speaking to our coaches, players, trying to communicate as much as we can, trying to stay fit, give the players a good program to work from moving forward, so they keep their fitness at a good level. And now we're just waiting, like everyone else, on trying to get some dates so we can sort of ramp it up as much as we can so we can lead into some games and hopefully play some footy again.
Yeah. What have you learned about yourself in this, past 7 or 8 weeks? Is there something that you've done to keep your mind, ticking, or has there been something that you've got to that maybe you haven't previously because footy's been there at that time? So is there something that you've done, now that you haven't been able to get to?
Well, a little bit of a couple of things. So I've done a few courses, just different things that obviously the SANFL put on for us, which was good. So I've done a few of those. I've also started I'm a partner in a coaching app business, which is called Go to Coach. So I've had more time to spend on that, which has been a real positive as well. And I think like everyone else, I've just had time to spend with my family and seeing my kids a lot more. And so that's been a real positive out of it as well. But yeah, like everyone else, we're keen to get back to normal life and back into playing footy. That's what we love to do. It's what the players love to do. And obviously getting back to play at the parade, and with the new Wolf Blast Centre getting ready and nearly complete, that's going to be really exciting for everyone to be able to get back there. And I know the players are excited to be able to get back there and play in front of that as well. For
sure. And that leads me, how the players going at the moment? You're in obviously regular dialogue with them. Just talk us through your chats with them and how you're keeping up with making sure they're doing the right things before we come back, ready to go, fit and firing.
Like I said before, we've given them a program. It's a real tough one because you don't know in regards to when you're coming back. So, whether it's next week or 4 months away, it's hard to give them a set program. So we've given them some stuff to do, communicate with them quite regularly from the senior players and just a few chats with some of the younger players as well to make sure, one, not just their fitness base, but also how they're going in regards to the mental side of it as well, how they're dealing with it. Do they need any help? And just be able to touch base with them and have communication with them is really important. But that's probably been the hardest part for everyone, is not being able to hang out. One of the great things about footy clubs is you get to hang out with your mates and play footy. And I think that's been the hardest part for most people. Everyone's different. So, some people just go out and train flat out and they love it and they'll go and do it no matter what. Some need a motivation to play. Some need, different things to make sure that they can get through it. So there's no right or wrong because, no one's ever been through this before. So all we're trying to do is help out as much as we can. But the closer we get now, hopefully, to playing, it will start to ramp it up and we'll make sure that we get our program and hopefully get back to training as soon as we can and get back to prepare properly to be able to play some footy again.
No, good to hear. A lot of players I've spoken to are really eager to get back and, play some footy, obviously. A bit of a different question, Cots. I mean, as a coach, how do you think footy will look when it returns? Have you got a sense of the structure around you and how it might look, with list sizes and all this, going forward?
It's a real tough one, Joe. I think it really is going to be dictated by the AFL on what they do in regards to their list numbers and whether we have, the Port Magpies and the Adelaide Crows playing the competition anymore. That can change the way things look. There have been rumours about, maybe the reserves comp not being in anymore, which I hope definitely doesn't happen. I think it's a great thing for the competition. So from that point of view, it's really hard to say definite answers on anything. I think we'll be guided by what the AFL do, and then that'll have a flow-on effect to the SANFL and how we go about it as well. But I think out of everything, there'll be some positives. It's a good chance to reset and look at the game and how it's played and what we do. And same thing with probably the SANFL clubs, how you manage your finances and your salary cap and players. And it's a good chance just to reset and have a look at everything and learn, over the past 10 years what's been really good and what we can probably do better. But yeah, I think definitely the AFL will have a big impact on how we go about it in the SANFL.
Yeah, for sure. There's much discussion, obviously, around the AFL hubs and all that. And I've seen a few articles just lately from the advertisers saying, maybe SANFL clubs, will only play at, 3 or 4 venues during the year. And there'll be 3 games, say, at Adelaide Oval, could be us, Unley and another stadium. What are your thoughts on playing, 3 games in a row, potentially, not for us, just as 3 games in a row for the league, each game to get it done, basically, and get a competition underway?
I think if you spoke to most people, we just want to play. So as long as it's safe and the environment's good for everyone to be able to play footy in, then I don't have any issue with that. I think if we have to play double headers or we play a Wednesday night game and then follow up with a Sunday game, I think they're all options that we've spoken about with the SANFL. So they've been good in regards to being open to lots of different things. And again, it depends on what happens with the AFL teams and if they're in the competition or not, then we can sort of work out what we need to do from there. But speaking to the other SANFL coaches as well, we've had different Zoom chats as well, and everyone's just keen to play. So I think we're all open to it. It's just a matter of making sure, 1, it's financially sound for all the clubs, and 2, that it's safe for all the players and the staff that are involved in the competition as well.
No, beautiful. And Cots, obviously our members and supporters have been absolutely outstanding throughout this time. And the amount of support that we've been getting through social media, letters, emails, has been overwhelming, in some way. What is your message to them, overall at the moment from the head coach?
Oh, we're very blessed to have, obviously, those supporters and members involved. Just speaking to Dale Fleming, obviously looks after a lot of our membership stuff and commercial stuff. He's been blown away with the numbers and the support that we've been given with our merchandise, and just being involved in, what you've done, Joe, with the players and the Friday night games and showing footage and just the messages of support they've given and they just want the club to be the best it can be as well. So I thank them very much. I mean, without them, we don't have a footy club. It's that simple. So they've been fantastic, and it doesn't stop now. We really need them to obviously keep supporting us in whichever way they can. And then obviously we'll look to reward them when we get back playing on the field. And I think it's a great chance to re-engage with our supporter group as well. So when we get back into games, I think we're focusing on making sure we involve them as much as we can. Get them into the rooms, get them at training sessions, get them involved in lots of different areas of the club. And they're part of the family. They've shown that. So we need to make sure we look after them as well. So I ask them to continue their support. They've been fantastic, and we need them going forward.
And just lastly, Cots, obviously the Wolf Blast Community Centre is one thing. I mean, how good is it going to be, obviously, having a home base when we get back? Obviously, our fortress is Cooper Stadium, but going back to the club rooms after the game, after a win. I mean, how special is it going to be at the first win we have to celebrate it with our fans after this tumultuous time?
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. I mean, realistically, the last probably 12 months to 18 months, we've been in huts. So the players, for one, just to be in new change rooms and new facilities is going to be like a new world. But from the club room side of things, as a player, when I played at Nord, we had club rooms. We play a game, then we go to the club rooms, celebrate together as a group, celebrate with the supporters, and be able to hang out at Cooper Stadium, not have to sort of disperse into different areas. So that's really exciting for, one, the supporters and the members, but also the players, that we get to stay at our home after a game and celebrate the win there and make sure that we get around each other. So yeah, it's going to be like a new start for us, really, when we get back. Hopefully, with the build being finished, we can really look to have some exciting times at the new venue.
Nah, Cots, that's fantastic. Look, really appreciate you taking the time out to have a chat with me. Good luck going forward, and hopefully there's footy not too far on the horizon for us.
No worries. Thanks, Joe. And just, mate, anytime you want to have a chat, let's do it, because it's always good to let the members and the supporters know how we're going. So go Legs.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Cotsy.